Hi, welcome to the Razor's Edge. This is Paul, and I'm joined tonight by Dutch futuristic metalers Cryptosis. Well, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I appreciate your time. And welcome to the Razor's Edge website over here in the UK. I'm assuming you guys are all in Holland.
Yep, true.
Yeah, good. That's a good start. How are things with you guys at the moment? Because I know you've got curfews and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, and we just got more curfews, actually.
Great.
They put 3 more weeks of this, how do you say it in English? Yeah, we have a curfew at 9 p.m. We have to be inside.
Yeah. And is that policed? Are there police on the streets checking?
Yeah.
Not much. Not much.
They are checking.
There are a lot. In my city, a lot.
Oh, in my city, they don't. But nobody is outside anyway, so people follow the rules pretty strictly here.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, how has it been for you as a band? Because, of course, you've had quite a big change in the last 12 months or so. Obviously, we'll talk about the name change and the change of direction and stuff. But how has it been in terms of impacting on how you guys can actually do anything?
Well, sorry, Frank.
No, ga je gang.
Well, we haven't seen each other actually for 8 or 9 weeks now, and I can't remember the last time that happened, because we are doing lots of shows normally, and if we don't play shows in a weekend, we do rehearsals and that kind of stuff, or we have parties or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now, we haven't been playing since mid-December, I think, and we have a rehearsal weekend scheduled next week, and that will be the first time we will see each other in all those weeks.
Wow.
So it's different, actually. Yeah, really different.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of stuff to do, behind the scenes. A lot of interviews. We're recording video clips. A lot of promotion, pre-orders. We're really busy with stuff.
Yeah. And
we're not bored at all.
And have you found that not being able to play live whilst is an obvious nightmare for all musicians? Have you found it's given you more time to actually craft your work and to get things better than maybe it would have been if you were playing live?
Well, we had quite a few things to do. Also legal stuff, because we are a registered company that changed the name. We had a lot of stuff to do, also with the contract with Century Media. Basically, we had to do a lot of stuff back from the beginning, like a website, photo shoots, all that stuff. So it wasn't. We didn't play maybe as much as we like, but there was so much other things to do that I think we even didn't have time, to play concerts or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know that previously you were Distillator and you were very much a thrash band, because I saw you in London about 4 and a bit years ago when you supported Metal Church.
Yeah, cool.
All right, cool. Yeah.
So
In the Underworld.
That's right, yeah. So I saw you there. What do you remember about that? Because you were supporting them. Was it just a one-off, or did you support them on all of the European tour?
No, the full tour.
Yeah.
And actually, a year before, we were there as well with Vector.
Okay. What do you remember about that gig?
Well, actually, every time the Underworld is on a tour schedule for us, we are really looking forward to it, because we absolutely love that venue, and we love the city and the people as well. But the Underworld is something I think if I speak for myself, the underworld is always something you want to go back to. You're looking forward to go there again.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're starting the tour, you look forward to play. At least I do. You know, you look forward to be in the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah.
we one time with Metal Church, we've been there. We had a bit time off, so we went to explore Camden Town, and we've been drinking a few beers upstairs in the underworld. Fantastic atmosphere. I think something like that definitely should be here in the Netherlands too.
Great. Yeah, it was a good
Yeah,
show
but
if I remember right. Sorry, Lawrence, go on.
Yeah, no, I wanted to add that that we had both times that we were there actually. We had a packed house. You know, it was full, and that's always good. But you know, we all have a very good experience with this venue. Each time we come there, it's lots of people and a big party.
Yeah, I
We
remember.
also have a very. Sorry.
No, go on. I just saying. I remember it was a very good night. Very hot because it's always hot in the
Yeah.
underworld.
Yeah, it's really hot there, but I think it's because of the lights. You know, it's all still those really warm stage lights, where everybody has LED lights nowadays. You know, but the underworld is really really hot because of the stage lights.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So tell me now. Obviously, when I first got the promo stuff, it took me a little while to realise that you were the same band, although you're not the same band, if you know what I mean. So tell me a little bit about how there's been this evolution from Distillator to Cryptosis and how it's all come about, because it's not something that many bands actually do, is it? Change their name and move to a slightly different sound as well.
Well, I think you just answered the question with your own question, because you said, you know, it took some time to know that it was us, you know. So basically people know us with a very old school logo, old school, you know, looks, and our music isn't, you know, that just doesn't represent that kind of music anymore.
No.
That we're doing now. So you know, when we started working on this album, we already were thinking about it, talking about it. You know, maybe we should change the name because, you know, we saw that music was going into a different direction. But then we got the final master, and we just said like, yeah, it's so different now. You know, it just doesn't do justice anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to go for a gamble, and I think it turned out pretty well. I mean, it gives us more freedom and room to experiment more in the future. It gives us more the opportunity to do whatever we want, instead of trying to make music that fits in a particular genre. Also, when people see a logo of Distillator in a poster, they just expect some kind of typical music, and you know, then they might get disappointed by hearing what we're doing now, or they just say like, yeah, I love that band, but only the first 2 albums, you know, and that was just something, you know, that we didn't want. And we want, you know, fans that like our music, you know, they like Distillator for what it is, and you know, if they don't like our new style, so be it, you know. If they like it, you know, that's good, and there will be other people that likes this music as well. So we were not really that afraid, but it was kind of exciting, you know, the last day before we went to announce it.
Yeah, it was really excited, and like Frank said, we thought it was the right choice to do this. And when we started this later in 2013, we actually wanted to play pure old school thrash metal. You know, like bands like Sodom, Slayer, Exodus, these kind of bands. You know, in the vein of these bands, we wanted to play music and do all the cliches and all the stuff that's pure old school. But over the years, we kind of developed our own musical preferences. We discovered other genres, other artists. We basically grew as musicians and kind of drifted more and more away from the typical sound of thrash. until and then we basically got to this point where we are now.
Yeah, sure.
And for us, it was the best decision to release this album under another flag, because this is the direction we want to keep going. We don't want to make the next album which sounds like this later again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I've been lucky enough. I've started listening to the advanced copy and knowing what you sounded like before, and then putting Bionic Swarm on. There's virtually no link between the two bands. You've really done a good job of separating the sound completely. I mean, you're still very extreme, very heavy, and very fast, but it's in a completely different way to the way in which you used to play in terms of thrash. So I think it's worked.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. That was the thing we wanted, and that's also why we released Decipher, the first single, as a first track to the outside, because it was like a smooth transition from Distillator into Cryptosis. It's a loud track, it's brutal, and it's not too far away from our old sound, but it's a new sound. But for example, if we took Prospect Immortality or Mindscape as the first track that came out as Cryptosis, we think many of the old Distillator fans, they would have just put it aside, like, okay, this band has changed, this is not my style, I'm not going to listen to it anymore, because we want to how do you say it? We want to keep the Distillator fans as well, of course,
Yeah.
If they like it or not, that's their own decision, but we want to introduce to them, make them interested to listen to the rest of the album, of course.
Sure. And what's the reaction been from your hardcore fans? Because thrash fans are by nature sometimes quite set in their ways. I like Slayer and I like Slayer and I like Slayer, and that's it. So has there been a good response?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, some guys when we announced the name change were a bit skeptical, but then we released this first song, Decipher, and everything was good, So I personally thought that it would have been a more of a I think more people would have been a bit negative maybe about it, but it turned out really better than I expected.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and there were also a lot of people, or not actually a lot, there were a few people, it's better to say that. There are a few people that are, like you mentioned, these conservative thrash metal heads that only listen to thrash, and if it's something different, they're not interested in it anymore.
Yeah.
They started to give some comments like, you still sound like this later, why did you change the name? That kind of stuff. But there was only a few people that said something like this. But they are maybe not so open-minded to other kinds of genres or music.
Yeah.
Very conservative. But luckily, like 99% of our fans, they really love the songs so far.
That's great.
Yeah, it's also sometimes it's a bit interesting to see, because the internet is completely ruthless, like for example, some bands, they get burned down, on YouTube in comments, like we know how much energy and passion, as a band you put into it, put a video online, and sometimes it's hard to see, like how some people react to some bands,
Yeah.
It's sad,
Yeah, I'm very pleased that you haven't had too much bad reaction. There's a Italian band called Ultraviolence who have just released a single. You've seen that, yeah, Marco? Yeah, and they've been hammered. absolutely
Yeah.
hammered by it.
I
Yeah,
saw comments, and I was really, I was really feeling sorry for them. You know, I was really, I can imagine what was going through their minds, because they put a lot of work and time and resources in there. They also put it online, like this. This has been something that we've worked to for the past few years, and now we get these kind of reactions. It's really
but it's actually something we talked about with the three of us. It would have been better for them to change the name as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you said the thrash metal people are pretty much like this. I like Slayer, I like Megadeth and Metallica or whatever,
Yeah.
and they are fan of Ultraviolence as a thrash metal band. But now it's not a thrash metal band anymore. It's completely different metalcore, whatever you want to call it. And I don't think people really enjoy it as being a thrash metal band and then go into this kind of music. I think I think that's what people like.
What?
I think he's frozen. Do you want to take over?
Yeah. No, yeah. The difference is too big, but I think I can see why they choose to stay with the name, because they got so many plays on YouTube and Spotify and following on social media. So why should they, cut that and start from the beginning? It's But on the other hand, it's a very bold choice to go with a musical change that big, and stay with the name.
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about the album a bit, because there is a concept behind it. You've got a concept about the influence of technology on humanity and this kind of dystopian future, which, to all its sense and purposes, we're kind of living at the moment anyway. So, where did the ideas come from? Where did you draw the inspiration for the themes?
Yeah, well, with Distillator, we have been writing on concept albums as well, and the first album was about the last 100 years in human history. Then the second album was about the current times, and the third album, there was a split album with the Space Chaser.
Yeah.
They're currently signed with Metal Blade Records, I think. So that was more about technology, sci-fi. So then when we were working on that really gave us the inspiration to do more with it and to broaden the ideas, and because we were very much how to say that, we were a bit bored with in the metal scene. Most of the time, all the subjects of the lyrics or concepts, they're pretty much the same, like they deal with, for example, war or Satanism or addiction or whatever, just as popular music is mostly about love, and for us it got a bit boring, and we thought with this technology, there's a lot of stuff that you can fantasize about, that nothing is ever being written. It's just stuff that has to develop, it's basically anything you can think of, and for us that gave more freedom to write and to think about, what happens, how does the world look like if this and this technology would be possible, for example. And so we got a lot of that kind of ideas, and we just put it in a document and just picked the best ones, and we wrote a song of each small story.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's a concept album about the year 2149, and there's 8 songs. Each has a dystopian, futuristic theme, and each song is written from a certain perspective.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the song "Decipher" is written from the perspective from technology itself. So it's through the eyes of artificial intelligence, looking down on mankind. You know, it's like technology, humans in the grasp of technology. You know, they can't live without it. It just like they are getting more and more dependent on it. You know, as the years go by, and it's an exponential growth to the future. So if you look at, for example, if you go 50 years back in time, if you have 10 years, if you go 10 years into the future from that point, you have a certain technological, you know, it's like an increase of technology. But if you do this in the future, you know, if we go to 2030, there is a lot more happening in those 10 years. So if you go 120 years into the future, there are things happening that you can't even imagine right now.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what's happening in the future. So you can basically come up with anything that comes to mind. You know, you can really fantasize about it. And we've come up with 8 stories. That happened in 2149, and it's a bit fantasy. It's some realistic stuff in there too. This or that might happen someday. You know, stuff to think about. It's not stuff that we are against or you know, no pros or cons. But you know, you can think about those kind of concepts yourself if you are into you know, research about lyrics and stuff. You can.
Yeah, we just want to set a mindset, you know, for a listener to be able to think about these topics themselves.
Yeah. So how do you go about the actual writing process? Is it a group decision, or does one of you come up with the concept? You said that you had a list of ideas. Who comes up with the list? Do you all pool them together and then pick?
Yeah, we're working with some kind of database library. Like, for example, Lawrence or me, we just write a riff or chord progression, or maybe Marco has some kind of cool drum pattern. We just record it. You know, we all have studios at home. We just create it. We just upload it and share it with us. Like, hey, check it out. We got some new stuff there. We just listen to it, and you know, it gives us inspiration for something that we can write ourselves, or just like leave it there for the time being. We do that for maybe a year or so. So we have like 100 or 200 of these ideas. Then we just pick the best ones and, you know, started writing. You know, for example, this is a really cool melody. Okay, we're going to use this one as a chorus.
Yeah.
This is a really cool riff or intro. Maybe, you know, we can put them together. If not, then it will be another song, you know. So we probably have around 10 songs built up like that, and then we're just going to start puzzling, you know, with the rest of the riffs and try to make a song of it. And in that stage, we just write again a lot of new riffs, you know, to use as glue. Then it's just like a team effort, you know, like Lawrence and me, we do the songwriting together, but Marco is Marco is involved as well, you know, like we send stuff to him, you know, he gives us feedback, he gives us his ideas, you know, maybe change the drums. So
I'm in the details mostly.
Yeah, and then we just have
really right, I know.
Yeah, and we then you know, we end up with pretty good pre-productions of the song, and we're just going to fine tune them.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, we also use the drum computer, so we can program drums, we can record guitar, we can record bass, we can record vocals.
Yeah.
We can record, you know, other stuff, and we can make really good sounding demos to really present a full idea to each other, you know. I think it works very well because sometimes if you have only a riff, it can be interpreted at a lot of different from a lot of different angles. You can maybe play fast drums, or you can maybe play slow drums, or you can, is the bass playing the same as the guitar, or is it doing chords, or is it doing a melody? But in this way you have a full idea, and you can just explain like this is the idea that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a full arrangements basically.
Yeah.
And listening to the album, obviously it's very technical. There's a lot of sound going on in there from the first couple of listens I've had. So you've obviously upped your game substantially since obviously that first album, that first EP. Have you got to a point where you're actually writing stuff that you're really having to push yourself to play it?
Yeah,
well, it's actually a different kind of songwriting, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, normally with Distillator, we made ideas of what we could play at the time. So we were able to play a riff, or we were able to play a drum part or a bass part, and now we wrote music that we really love to listen to ourselves, and don't get how do you say it? It's like writing music and then learn how to play it instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's like some parts when Lawrence and Frank wrote some songs, I actually couldn't play them on drums. It was way too fast or way too technical. So I had to practice my ass off to be able to do it in the studio, and that's it's really true.
Yeah.
So it's another way of songwriting actually.
Yeah. I think Marco is right. I think we all upped our games to like the maximum, and I think even above what we could play at that time. We really we all had to rehearse our asses off. I remember recording vocals over guitar riffs that at the end I realized that I have to play them at the same time. So that was it was kind of a challenge to try to master that into something that I can play on a routine basis.
Yeah, sure.
But, we have all have done a really good job mastering these parts, and we've all grown as a musician from this album, and I expect from albums in the future we are going to grow even more.
Yeah, and I think it's the core, of this band that from the very first beginning that we started playing with the three of us, we just trying to push each other, all the time, like play faster, play more intense, play like this part, try to put more groove in it, try more melody, whatever, all the time. We're just trying to improve each other and each other's playing, and also, we try to teach each other stuff, maybe Lawrence knows more about harmonics than, he's trying to learn me that kind of stuff, trying to teach him stuff that I know about songwriting, and, it's just really a teamwork in that sense.
And it does come across, it sounds, you don't sound disjointed at all. You sound very cohesive. You are a unit, which is what you want it to sound like. So just to wrap up, guys, the album isn't out for a few weeks yet. I think it's towards the end of March. Is that right?
Yeah, 26th.
26th of March. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's difficult to know in terms of what else you can do at the moment. Obviously, with live shows and stuff. Are you planning to do anything to celebrate the launch, either on social media or anything?
We are planning on a live stream, actually. We are talking about doing a live stream somewhere in April.
Okay.
And it's gonna happen, but we are still talking about it and how to do it, actually.
Yeah, probably April 17, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
April 17, we've created a technological inspired live show that we're going to perform there.
Wow, great. I'll look out for that. That should be good.
Yeah, so I hope many people will watch it. It will be broadcasted on YouTube and Facebook. And yeah, we're going to make some kind of experience from that. I hope people will be interested in watching it and will remember it. Yeah, and we're going to play the entire album front to back.
Great, brilliant.
So we're really looking forward to that. Unfortunately, we wanted to do this in front of a full crowd, of course, but
yeah,
you know,
it might be a while. Yeah, might be a while. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your time. I know you've got lots of these interviews to do. It's been a pleasure to actually speak to you and get a little bit more information about it. I wish you good luck with the album. I don't think you'll need it because I think it's a cracking album. It's just a question of getting it out there in amongst everything else that's coming out at the moment. So good luck with it, and hopefully we'll be able to see you live at some point in the near future.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with future episodes by subscribing to our channels. For more information on this podcast, or for all the latest music news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website www.therazorsedge.rocks.